Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So it's Easter weekend. Energies feel like they're ramping up. Super intense, and it kind of feels like all by design, you know? I thought I'd film outside for a change. So let me get us some messages for the collective. There's just a lot of funky energies right now. And I just feel like we really need to just, as light workers, move full speed ahead. Is the message I'm getting in terms of removing anything that is working against the world, humanity, you know, that kind of a thing. So let me get some messages right now in a protected channel to the highest light realms for the collective. So we have retreat. Never underestimate the healing power of a quiet moment. Ah, interesting. So I guess I'm hearing reflection. So it could be that the collective is being guided into more of the quiet so we can access the higher frequencies, access the higher energy planes, and then be able to heal ourselves, thus becoming more of a spiritual vessel to be able to heal the world. However you're called to do that, whatever your gifts are, abilities. Any other messages right now for the collective with these energies and what's going on? Any other messages for the collective with what is going on right now? Persevere, yeah. Never leave any stone unturned. I also heard war. I also was getting in the weekly energy this week on Patreon. Our intelligence came up very strong as not looking very aligned, not looking the best. And now I know why. The news broke today that some classified docs leaked out of the Pentagon in regards to Ukraine, and they got out on social media. Definitely got into the wrong hands. So now I understand that message even more, but I was getting those kind of messages. There's definitely somebody on the inside that's leaking that is a terrorist. I'm hearing somebody who is not working for the government or the country. And I feel like there's a lot of stuff that we still have to uncover as a nation in terms of, there's a lot of crooked intel I'm getting. I had gotten messages in 2020 that the Pentagon had been gutted. You know, it was like definitely gutted. It's a Knight of Cups coming in here. I'm hearing something about an officer and a gentleman coming through. That's a movie with Richard Gere. I would say if you're a very sensitive light worker right now, you could be tapping into all kinds of messages and energies, and it's definitely not for the faint at heart, you know. Being a light worker is definitely, it's about constantly walking the line and almost like seeing beyond the veil. But they're saying knowledge is power, so it's like we have to know what's going on in order to protect, defend, thwart, that kind of a thing. So any other messages about money wars coming through, any other messages coming in right now around these funky energies, and anything that we need to know, the collective needs to know right now. Something about the truth has to come out is what I'm getting really strong. We need to know the truth. We need to know how ugly this really got. I mean, I think my channel knows that. I think we've been talking about that for a long time. But it definitely does feel like people need to know the truth. I'm hearing something about the populace coming through. We need to know the truth. Other messages that the collective needs to know. They're saying like people's lives have been damaged by this elite group, okay? People's lives have been damaged by this elite group. Like things have been thrown upside down. Time and space they're mentioning, manipulating time and space, manipulating everything. I'm getting the song I Need a Hero, and now I'm getting some kind of money coming through with the King of Cups. No, Knight of Cups, my bad. Knight of Cups coming through. Any other messages for the collective right now? Guidance for how to get through these energies, how to get through this. The truths need to come to the light so that we can finally get the story straight. We can finally align correctly to what's really been going on as a nation, as a country, and as a world. So the truths are what's needed right now. The truths. Any other guidance around these truths? Any other guidance around these truths? Courage, okay? When picking up roses, don't fear the thorns. Like, we have to have courage right now, okay? That's really important. I'm hearing courage of conviction, facing our fears. Like, we have to face our fears. Other messages around this courage coming through. Courage leads to freedom. That's what it is. Like, that's our main message. Like, that's it. We have to be courageous right now. We cannot give in to this fear. We have got to move through this fear. I'm hearing something about Columbine, and that's come up before. And that was like the mass shooting in Colorado. I feel like there's going to be more of that. Because they're plotting these attacks on our soil internally. Other messages around this? Any other messages around this? We have to move through fear. We have to move through fear to get through to the other side. Moving through the fear, the panic, the rage. We have to move through it all to get to the other side. The fear is like a mask, is what they're saying. So we have to break through to the illusion. And I'm getting the Doors song, break on through to the other side. The Doors. The Doors came up the other day. Somebody had sent me something about the doors. The keys to the doors or something like that. Something with the doors. What is this Knight of Cups got? I mean, just what is this Knight of Cups coming in here? So there's something about adorning ourselves, loving ourselves, coming through with this energy, and then knowing that we are protected, as we fill ourselves up. The minute we feel like we're not protected, that's us giving into the fear, and then we're calling that energy in. So we have to know we're protected. You know, I knew a guy who was a ranger, and he said that the minute you give into the fear that you're not protected, that's when stuff goes bad. And I feel like that's such an important thing. You can't give in to the fear. You just got to keep going with your courage and truth. Courage, truth, courage, truth. Like, every single person has to step up. Courage and truth. Because what we're up against is a very powerful authoritarian group, okay? And they run the world with money. So we have to believe that we're protected despite that, okay? We have to believe that our protections go beyond money, because money is an illusion. Money's not real. Money only holds value if we put value to money. So we have to break through to the other side, literally. It's all about breaking through to the other side. I'm getting so many chills on that. Getting something about the Pledge of Allegiance coming through. What's the Pledge of Allegiance talking about? It's like remembering our values, remembering our core values. They're saying to protect and serve. You know, all this information just came forward about Clarence Thomas and all of this luxury, gifts, and travel. A judge should not be taking money from anyone. It is a code of ethics, period. Okay? You don't accept gifts because they can, in turn, be used against you. And he didn't care. He didn't care. That's how protected he might have felt at that time. Now the tables are turning, right? We're getting to the truth of this. We do not allow that. Judges do not take gifts or bribes, period. Everything about that is wrong on every level because of the line of work. I mean, we had the civic duties were messed with, okay? So I feel like we need to shine a light on all of that right now. We have to shine a light on everything. We need to shine a light on the Supreme Court, every single judge, every single gift. Everything needs to shine the light on. We know better. I mean, I think at the end of the day with the U.S., if we want a democracy, a true democracy, money can never go into that. A true democracy is of the people. Money does not exist in a democracy, period. It can't, because it is no longer a democracy. It's a fake democracy that will be destroyed. It's not a real democracy anymore. Once the money gets involved, manipulation, tactics, everything. Also, I'm getting a message around the Nasdaq coming through. I was getting a really strong message about the Nasdaq and that it's rigged in some way. So I was looking up the Nasdaq to see the companies that are a part of that. And it's Apple, it's Microsoft, it's Pepsi. So definitely like keep an eye out for all of the companies that are a part of the Nasdaq. It's mostly tech, okay? So that's, if you think of that, it's firstly tech, okay? It's mostly tech companies, and then second is healthcare. So that's something we have to take a look at right now is the Nasdaq, okay? They're saying it's manipulated through these companies or through these technologies or through their agendas in some way. There is something about it, and there's something with the numbers and the rising and the falling of the numbers as codes and coding systems, like something like that. I couldn't really understand that very well, but it's like some kind of information going out to people in some way through the stock exchange, and I don't really get that. So I was hearing some about the penny stocks too in connection to that. It's like they're manipulating the numbers that go out, but there's a coding system involved in that too. So like I can't figure that part out, like the coding system. Let me know if you guys got any hits on that. Okay, any other messages for light workers right now? Any other messages for light workers right now? Any other messages, God of Angels, for light workers right now? They're just saying like take a time off, rest, relax, rejuvenate. Try to internally like go within to bring yourself back to the light, back to love. And then that energy will go out, focusing on raising the vibration of the planet. Moving faster into the light. I don't know why they're mentioning senior frogs right now. Okay, so that's coming through. And I'm getting the song Bewitched by Frank Sinatra. And links to that. Any other messages coming through? Any other messages? Constantinople's coming through. Money wars. Constantinople has come up before. It links like with the Holy Grail coming through. And a love messages. Is there any guidance on this for the collective? Any other guidance on the Constantinople and the Holy Grail? What guidance you have for the collective? You have to bring it all back to the light. To bring it back to the light. Bringing all agreements back to the light. Bringing all sorcery back to the light. Bringing divine codes back to the light. Anything else about bringing anything back to the light? For bringing sovereignty back to the light. Okay, let's see if there's Any final messages? Hidden depths is coming up. You only see the surface, look beyond. Yeah. And opportunity. There's no use looking for luck. It arrives at unexpected times. Hidden depths and opportunity. I do feel like this is where they kind of manipulated energies to bring in their own luck and opportunity. And that all has to go back up to the light. Like move, make sure you're moving around, exercising, moving your body, or even looking to move physically. And then we have forgiveness. A crushed flower still gives off a sweet scent. So it could be that we might have to forgive somebody or someone. We have patience and adapt coming through. When you forgive somebody, it creates a neutral energy between you and those people or whoever it is. It neutralizes the energy, and then it brings in more of a peace energy, so it can recalibrate the energy between the two parties. So we might need to start looking to do more of that forgiveness work. I think the best advice that they're giving right now is to realize that when people are acting out of selfishness, out of greed, out of power, it is mostly because they feel that they can't provide that for themselves, that they are in lack or operating out of lack, or they feel like they have to prove themselves in some way. I feel like it's like the broken inner child. It's like we have to look at them from a perspective of them being lost. And that is how we can kind of like move into more of the forgiveness model, is that they didn't know any better at that time. Calling in the prayers for them to learn their lessons and to move back into the light in some way. Righting their wrongs. Those would be the best prayers for the enemy right now. Also helping them to forgive themselves, because a lot of times even the barrier lies within them, because they can't forgive themselves for what they've done. So instead they just keep doing wrong things. So creating that space for them to find the door out of their situations and breathe. All right, y'all, if you guys are interested in a reading, you guys can go to my website at soulpath.me for availability. I'm sending you guys so much love and blessings, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.